listen to this.
Greetings to all. Today, let us take a moment to nourish our minds, to awaken to the formless, empty and pure life element within us. I sincerely wish that every person in this world, whether young or old, disabled or able-bodied, men or women, from every faith, every culture, every race, may come to realize the profound nature of the mind. This is a teaching that is not part of any formal education system. It is a knowledge that cannot be found in schools. Some people live to the age of 80 and still do not know what the mind truly is. Where did we come from? Why did we enter this physical vessel, this body? And while we inhabit it, what is it that we are truly seeking? Even after acquiring everything we desire, we keep struggling. When the body ages and begins to deteriorate, suffering intensifies because we do not know what will happen when this body disintegrates. We don't even understand how we ended up in this vessel. We could have been born as aquatic creatures, land animals or winged beings. The opportunity to be born as a human is extremely rare, like a single grain of sand amidst the countless grains that cover the earth. In this vast ocean of life, most beings are not human. The number of sentient beings inhabiting other forms is infinite, while the number of humans is as rare as the dust caught between two fingertips. Thus, we are incredibly fortunate to have taken on this human form, but despite this precious opportunity, we remain lost, mistaking this physical body for our true self. And why is that? It is because no one has ever taught us otherwise. We age, we grow old, and still we do not realize that we are not this body. We are the life element, the formless, pure and clear essence. Why am I speaking so explicitly about this? It is not out of doubt or uncertainty. I have spent a long time searching for these answers. One day, by turning inward, I awakened to a profound realization. The voice we hear in our minds is the very source of all our fabrications, that inner voice, the one that says, "What should I eat today?" Maybe steak is the same voice that endlessly weaves stories within us. Right now, as we sit quietly, perhaps on a balcony, observing this inner dialogue, can we see how it continues to speak on its own? This is the nature of the mind, and it is what we must come to truly understand. The essence of our mind or life element is not inherently connected to being human. It exists independently, untouched by the human condition. Yet it has its own manifestations, movements or expressions known as the activities of the mind. These activities constantly ripple and fluctuate, unaware that they are part of a human experience. The physical body operates on its own, and the activities of the mind function independently, like separate components. I often use the analogy of an egg. The yolk represents the mind, the life element, the true self. We are that yolk. It is utterly silent, profoundly pure, and perfectly clear. It is the original life essence, the source of all things. It is the pure, empty element that merges seamlessly with the vast, boundless emptiness that pervades the entire universe. We are that infinite emptiness, yet we do not realize it. This is the first aspect, the true self, the pure life essence that is formless, empty, and radiant. The second aspect is the voice that I am using right now. This voice is a manifestation of the mind, a mere expression, a vibration emanating from the life element. I use this voice to convey the message that we are not this voice, not these words. We are the formless, empty, clear, and pure life essence that radiates energy as these expressions. This voice is not owned by anyone. It is not a solid, permanent entity. It is merely a tool to communicate, a function of the mind that arises and fades. The teachings of the mind are the most profound and elusive of all. They are beyond ordinary understanding, requiring a sage to reveal the truth. Once we grasp this truth, we will comprehend the nature of all things and be able to share this realization with others. This is the supreme teaching that liberates us from suffering. Once we realize that we are the formless, pure life element, we will no longer cling to the illusion of being a person. All the knowledge we once held will dissolve, and we will awaken to a completely new perspective. If we compare this world to a dream, then the true reality is another realm, a realm without form, a realm of pure, empty clarity that pervades the entire universe. The world we currently live in is a dream, a conceptual illusion. Our true essence is the infinite empty space that encompasses all. Can you discern the difference? The dream world is transient, fleeting, and filled with illusion. But the true realm, the essence of life, the pure, formless element, is the eternal, boundless reality that remains when all illusions dissolve. When we finally awaken from this dream world, when we break free from the illusions and delusions we have been holding on to, we will come to know another realm, a realm where there is nothing but pure, empty, and profoundly clear life essence. In that realm, there is no suffering, no body, no mental agitation or fluctuations. It is a state of absolute peace, a peace that transcends both pleasure and pain, beyond all worldly concerns, beyond all forms. It is a state of utter purity, a pristine, luminous clarity that is always awake, always radiant, always present. In that state, there is no time and no distance. It is a dimension of pure knowing, the very substance of wisdom itself. Once we have reached this state, we will never be reborn again. We will know with unshakable certainty that we will not return to the cycle of birth and death, because the illusion of self will have completely dissolved. It will be as if we have awakened from a long illusory dream and now clearly see the truth. The dream world we once believed to be real was nothing more than a fleeting illusion, a mere fabrication of the mind. This newfound knowing is a knowledge beyond language, beyond form, beyond mental images and emotions. It is a knowledge that does not depend on memory, that does not require a perceiver or an experiencer. It is an all-encompassing awareness that is everything yet claims to be nothing. In this state, there is no sense of self, no ego, no pride, no need to assert or prove anything. There is only a profound calm, an incomparable tranquility, the essence of peace, the purest state of being. I myself have journeyed inward, awakening to this truth, and in doing so, I realize the nature of this life element. Many who have listened to my teachings, who have truly turned inward and seen clearly, have been brought to tears, overwhelmed by the profound realization. We are so deeply convinced that we are human. I too once believed that I was just a person, a son, a father, a member of a family, living an ordinary life. I once thought that life was all about earning money, acquiring things, and fulfilling worldly desires. But why did suffering persist even when I had everything? Why did I feel like a slave to material wealth? Why did I keep searching and struggling, even when life appeared to be complete? And what about when this body dies and disintegrates? Where will we go then? When will we finally stop being reborn? These were the questions that drove me inward, and the answers were not to be found in the outer world, but within the depths of the formless, pure and empty life essence that is our true nature. This body does not last long. That is the undeniable truth. It could disintegrate and die at any moment. It is always ready to cease functioning. Yet, there is one thing that never dies, and has never truly been anything. When the body stops working and disintegrates, the mind or life element immediately departs, drifting away to seek a new vessel, just like a hermit crab searching for a new shell. It begins again, inhabiting a new form, learning anew, and becoming lost once more, lost in the illusion of being a sea creature, a land animal, a bird, a burrowing creature, or a being in the air or space. When that vessel is consumed, decays or dies, the life element drifts away once more, seeking yet another form, and the cycle repeats, living, learning, hating, killing, harboring resentment, consuming one another over and over. Yet, through all of this, the life element itself has never been any of these things. It has never been a person, an animal, a man, or a woman. It has no name, no surname, and is not connected to anything at all. It is simply a pure, formless life essence that keeps sending its current to new vessels, repeating the cycle endlessly. Why does the life element continue seeking new vessels? Because it does not yet realize its true nature as the pure, formless essence. We are that life element, that pure essence without shape or form. The sense of self that we hold on to is not real. There is nothing in this formless essence that indicates a me or mine, and yet it is what we truly are, a pure, silent life force. When this body disintegrates, we will drift away, seeking yet another vessel. When will this cycle of rebirth finally end? We do not know. We only keep repeating, I don't know. We do not know how we ended up in this vessel, how we became what we are, or when we will finally awaken. We go through life acquiring homes, cars, families, wealth, and food, yet we continue to struggle. We keep striving for something, but we don't even know what it is. We only know that we need to earn more money to accumulate more. But why? To grow sick and die? What do we gain from all this striving? We do not know. And when we die, where will we go? We do not know. We keep striving for something without really knowing what it is. We are searching for a sense of fulfillment, but we cannot clearly identify what we are truly looking for. When we were born as animals, we never had parents to teach us that we are the life element, the pure formless essence. And now that we are born as humans, no parents, no teachers, no one in this world has ever told us that we are not the body, not the mind, that we are the formless, clear, and profoundly pure life essence. No one has ever said that we are only temporarily borrowing this vessel, this body. We are merely using the voice to speak, using mental images, emotions, and perceptions, even memory. But none of these are truly us. We are the life element. Take a moment to observe. The body breathes on its own. It walks on its own. It perceives on its own. It hears sounds on its own, smells, scents on its own. Even now, it speaks within the mind, thinking continuously. Can you see it? It thinks on its own, feels emotions of liking and disliking on its own, appears and dissolves on its own. There is no self within any of this. All natural phenomena simply perform their functions. The wind blows as the wind, the sun shines as the sun, the night is dark, the day is bright, the trees grow, cars move, animals go about their lives. The body too is just doing its work, breathing, moving, sensing. Where is the self in any of this? Observe carefully. Everything is functioning on its own. If we had been taught this truth by our parents or teachers every single day, we would not be suffering now. For those who have realized the true nature of the mind, the pure, empty life element, and who have awakened to this truth within the depths of their hearts, tears often flow. They realize with profound clarity that they are not human, not anything they once thought themselves to be. They have lost the illusion of selfhood. From kindergarten to doctoral studies, there should be a subject that teaches the realization of the mind. For all teachers, I implore you to bring this teaching into the education system. If people around the world were to study this, They would live together peacefully, without war, without violence, without arrogance or pride. They would possess wisdom, clarity, and calmness. Conversations would revolve around the mind, the life element, the nature of emptiness, the cessation of suffering. Anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, migraines, and all stress-related conditions would vanish. There would be no reason to be stressed about anything, because there would be nothing to cling to as me or mine. And so we would live together in harmony, sharing and caring for one another in a world of profound peace. Please share my teachings with everyone through the Ď Vimutti channel. Let everyone listen and discover the truth of their own minds. We all possess this formless, clear, and profoundly pure life element within us, but no one has ever pointed it out, taught it, or guided us to see it. The teaching is this simple. It's not difficult at all. Let's integrate this knowledge into the education system. Every student must listen to my recordings. From waking up until going to sleep, they will no longer play games or go out for entertainment. Their days will be filled with listening to these teachings. Imagine this. Students will begin to gather, forming groups to talk only about the mind, about what they feel after listening to the teachings, about how they understand the nature of the mind. They will share insights about what they have realized, asking, who has seen the mind yet? Who has recognized any of its movements and felt an immediate awakening? Who has been moved to tears by the sudden clarity of understanding? These conversations will continue from morning until night. Their whole way of life will change. They will no longer play, watch cartoons, or seek distractions. They will be absorbed in the teachings of the mind, and this profound knowledge will permeate their lives. Now, imagine one student having a moment of deep realization, the moment when they clearly see that there is no real self, and the mind accepts this truth. It is as if they are being pulled out of the body, pulled out of the voice, the mental images, the emotions, the perceptions. They are ripped away from all of these illusions. In that instant, everything they once thought to be me collapses. The belief that they were the one speaking shatters completely. Inside, it feels like a tremendous explosion, a complete dissolution of all concepts of self. What remains is nothing but vast emptiness, clarity, purity, a life essence that is utterly clear, utterly pure. There is no longer any sense of being human. It is as though the entire world, the whole universe, has dissolved, leaving only this pristine, empty life element. There is no suffering here. And when they reach this point, tears fall, for they have finally seen the truth. After that realization, life will return to its usual routine. We will continue to live as before, but there will be a deep, unshakable understanding that there is no self in this world. The voice continues to speak, but now it is clearly seen that there is no me speaking. It becomes evident that even the voice itself is not what we thought it was. The thoughts that arise, we see that they are not ours. Emotions like liking, disliking, happiness, suffering, or neutrality, they come and go, but we now know that none of them belong to us. Even the act of sensing, like hearing sounds, smelling scents, tasting, touching, or seeing, we realize that these are simply processes occurring on their own. It is no longer me experiencing these things. This understanding is a state of profound freedom, a liberation from suffering. It is a knowing that does not require language, yet we continue to rely on words to express it. This natural state is without any labels or concepts, but we remain trapped in labels and conventions. The true nature of life is formless and void, yet we keep clinging to this physical body, mistaking it for ourself. In essence, There is nothing at all that can be called me or mine. When someone awakens to this truth, tears often flow, for they realize that all they had believed to be themselves has completely dissolved. Many people have listened to my teachings and awakened suddenly, sometimes in just a day or a week. Tears flow as the heart fills with clarity. They feel an overwhelming sense of relief, as if a heavy burden has been lifted. Those who once suffered deeply from family issues, financial problems, or other worldly concerns no longer feel troubled. Some have practiced various forms of meditation for 20, 30, even 50 years, following the conventional teachings of this world. Some are over 80 years old and have been searching for liberation their entire lives. But after listening to my teachings just once, they feel completely free. Nothing left, no more questions, no more doubts. They are liberated from suffering, and they now assist me in spreading this knowledge with one singular purpose: to help everyone awaken and be free from suffering. My only goal is to guide all beings to awaken to the nature of the mind, to transcend suffering once and for all, to break free from the endless cycle of birth and death. This will be our final existence. We will not be reborn again. Imagine it like this. We have come to visit this dreamlike world temporarily. It is as if we have been given a set amount of time to experience life here, starting from the moment we are born from our mother's womb. On average, we are given around 70 years, but we could die tomorrow or the day after. Nothing is certain. We are here for a temporary visit. The body has been given to us freely, without cost. We are borrowing it, using it temporarily. The voice we use to speak, it was also given to us for free. It is not truly our voice, and in fact, it is not even a voice. It is merely a fabricated expression. We have been given thoughts, mental images, emotions of liking, disliking, or neutrality, feelings of happiness and suffering. All of these have been provided for us to use in this dreamlike world. We have also been given memory and the ability to perceive, to hear, see, taste, touch, and smell. But if we can clearly see that none of these things truly belong to us, that they were merely given to us to use temporarily, a profound realization may suddenly arise and tears will flow. That realization brings an end to the cycle of rebirth. My goal is to guide you to understand the nature of the mind, to see how it relies on these temporary manifestations, how it uses this body as a vessel. We can break it down into 3 layers. The first layer is the mind, the life element itself, the true self. This is what we truly are. We are the formless, clear, and profoundly pure life essence, completely untouched by any fabrications. It is utterly silent, merging seamlessly with the vast emptiness of the universe. It is the source of all knowledge, the purest state of being. We already are this essence. The second layer is the realm of mental fabrications, comparable to the egg white. These are the expressions and fluctuations of the mind, thoughts, emotions, desires, aversions, all the mental activities that arise and dissolve. The third layer is the body, the physical form, which is like the eggshell. It is the outermost vessel that we inhabit temporarily. Understand these 3 layers well. We are the egg yolk, the pure essence. The mental activities are the egg white, and the body is the shell. This is the nature of the mind and its manifestations. We are the first layer, the true self, the life element, the original essence, the formless and pure consciousness. This is who we truly are, the innermost core. We already possess this essence, and it is utterly silent, without any movement or expression. It is the core of our being. Now, the second layer, or layer 2, is the realm of manifestations, the realm of expressions. This layer is composed of all the movements and fluctuations, the activities of the mind. Think of it as the egg white surrounding the yolk. This is where the expressions arise. And what are these expressions? They include the voice that is speaking right now. Remember, we are the first layer, the pure, formless life essence. But the voice, the mental images, the emotions of happiness, sadness, neutrality, the sensations of liking and disliking, all of these are part of the second layer. This layer consists of all the mental and emotional fabrications that we use as temporary tools. Now let's be clear. The voice is not truly our voice. It is simply an expression, an outflow of energy that takes the form of sound. It is just a temporary tool we are using to communicate. But we have mistakenly believed that this voice is truly ours. We have come to identify with the voice, thinking it is me and mine. But in reality, the voice is just another manifestation, a ripple, a wave of energy. The same goes for mental images, emotions, and memories. We use these tools constantly, but we have become lost in them, forgetting our true essence, the formless, pure life element within. This is the essence that never speaks, never fluctuates, but simply is. Now the third layer, or layer 3, is the shell, the body. This is the outermost layer, the physical vessel we inhabit temporarily. We use this body, we use the voice, we use mental images, emotions, and sensory perceptions. But why do we use them? Why do we rely on these tools? We use them to navigate the dreamlike world, to function within this temporary existence. But ultimately, these tools are meant to guide us back to ourselves, to turn inward, to rediscover our true nature. We use these tools to reverse the flow, to trace back to the source, to finally realize what we truly are, the pure, formless life element, the clear and pristine consciousness that is beyond all appearances and fabrications. That's all there is to it. We will no longer be reborn because we have now realized that the mind, the life element, is not a physical form. It is the primordial essence, the origin of all things, vast, empty, clear, and profoundly pure. This is what we truly are. Yet, we have remained unaware of this truth. That is the key point. Whenever we enter a new vessel, we begin the cycle of learning all over again, primarily focused on survival, seeking food, shelter, and worldly pursuits. The body ages, decays, and eventually disintegrates. The mind drifts away, searching for another vessel, and the cycle repeats. Eating, fighting, aging, suffering, and dying, over and over. This cycle continues endlessly because the mind has not yet found the answer. We still haven't found the answer to why we were born, what we are truly seeking. But what if we did find the answer? What if we turned inward and awakened, just as I have? There is no need to force concentration or practice intense meditation. Just listen to my teachings repeatedly and observe. Simply observe and ask, who is the one that is aware right now? Who is the one that thinks? Who is the one that senses and perceives? Look closely at the workings of the mind. We have been lost in these manifestations because we did not know the truth. From the beginning until now, I have been using this voice to speak. Can you see it? We are simply aware of this voice, hearing it, perceiving it. Does it require any special practice to hear it? Do we need to develop mindfulness or meditate just to be aware of this sound? Not at all. Remember, we are the formless, clear, and pure life essence. We are the yolk, the innermost core. We are not the shell, the body, nor the egg white, the manifestations, the activities of the mind. Yet we have come to inhabit the egg white, the voice, the mental images, the emotions, the sensations. We use these tools to navigate the world, but instead of using them as tools, we have become lost in them. We have become absorbed in the language, identified with the words, and burdened by the emotions that arise. This is why we continue to suffer, clinging to these temporary manifestations instead of realizing the unchanging, formless essence within. On the day I awakened, I looked inward and clearly saw that the voice speaking was not me. The realization struck like a thunderclap. Everything shattered and collapsed. But when I tried to explain this to others, no one believed me. That's why we must each verify it for ourselves. I have recorded these teachings, proclaiming the truth for everyone to hear. Can you see that all these things we cling to have no self? Can you sense that the act of hearing right now is happening by itself? Do you see the truth of this? All we need to do is accept this reality and keep listening to my recordings. Let the sound of my voice echo in your mind until it reverberates constantly. When this happens, it means that the mind has begun to latch onto the expression, the voice, the sound, the vibration. As the mind continues to grasp and observe this expression, it will begin to contemplate and reflect, asking, who is the one that is thinking and fabricating these stories? Where did these thoughts come from? Keep observing patiently, and eventually, a sudden insight will arise. It thinks on its own. And in that moment, the mind will explode into clarity. From that point on, the mind will no longer cling to expressions. Thoughts, emotions, and sensations will continue to function as before, but they will no longer be seen as me or mine. For those who truly understand this, the cycle of rebirth ends. There is nothing left to hold on to, nothing left to be reborn as. Now, let me clarify these three layers again. The first layer, layer 1, is the true self, the pure life element, the formless essence. This is what we really are. The second layer, layer 2, is the realm of expressions, the voice, mental images, emotions, sensory experiences. These are all just manifestations, not the true self. The third layer, layer 3, is the physical body, the vessel we are currently inhabiting. But in truth, this body does not belong to anyone. If we observe carefully, we will see that it is the voice, the internal dialogue, that assigns meaning to this body, that fabricates stories about me and mine. The voice is the source of all conceptual creation. Once we become aware of this, we can begin to observe the stories it creates, to listen to them without identifying with them. Eventually, this observation will lead to the profound realization that there is no self to be found in any of these expressions. This realization can happen at any moment, whether we are eating, walking, or sitting. For example, while eating, the mind may suddenly begin thinking about meeting a friend and making plans to go out later. In that instant, we have forgotten that we are eating. Can you see how the mind operates on its own? It does not know that it is human. It simply functions, relying on expressions and manifestations to navigate the world. We, the true self, are the first layer, the life element. We rely on expressions, the second layer, and use the body, the third layer, to interact with the world. But in reality, everything the mind fabricates, every thought, every feeling, every sensation, is just an external phenomenon. It is not the true self. When the mind finally awakens to this truth and no longer harbors any doubts, the cycle of rebirth ends. The mind is free. Everything that is perceived is certainly not us. Can you see this? For those who accept this truth, a profound sense of lightness and spaciousness will arise. Now, we've already understood that the third layer, the external world, is not the true self. There is no need to pay further attention to it. Now, let's turn inward and observe the second layer, the realm of expressions, the manifestations that we constantly rely upon. We rely on the expressions of the mind all the time, particularly the inner voice. Every time we think, we are using that voice. For instance, while eating a meal, a thought may arise. This evening, I should go meet my friend, sit down, have some coffee, and chat. Images of that scene appear in the mind. But while we are eating, the mind is already lost in the imagined scenario of going out with a friend. It is completely unaware that it is currently eating. Can you see it? The body continues functioning on its own, heart beating, lungs breathing, blood circulating, all without any sense of being me. Similarly, the inner voice keeps speaking on its own, continuously chattering in the mind. It does not know that it is just a voice, just a function. If we can observe this truth clearly, we will no longer suffer and we will not be reborn again. The key is to understand and clearly see this reality. While eating, a thought arises. This evening, I should meet my friend and have coffee. If we can observe that this inner voice is speaking on its own, without any self behind it, a profound realization may arise. This voice is not me. The one speaking is not me. At that moment, the mind will recoil in shock, asking, then where is the self? Where am I? And then the mind itself will declare the answer, I have never been born in this world. Tears may flow when this realization arises. Sometimes it may respond with, there is nothing that can be called me. Or it may say, the nature of thoughts is just to arise and pass away. They are not me or mine. Or perhaps it will declare, all thoughts and voices are simply the currents of nature, rippling as sound for communication. When this realization strikes, the mind will suddenly awaken, all doubts will vanish, and the truth will become crystal clear. We are the pure, empty life element, unconditioned and unborn. Once this is clearly known, the cycle of rebirth ends. We will immediately realize our true nature as the pure, formless life essence that never truly incarnates. Now understand this clearly. The first layer, layer 1, is the pure, formless life essence, our true self. The second layer, layer 2, is the realm of expressions, thoughts, voices, mental images, and emotions. Right now, the first layer is relying on the second layer to function in this world. Recognize this truth clearly. This is the key to awakening. Right now, we are relying on the voice. We are constantly using it. While sitting and eating, the mouth chews, the tongue moves, the body swallows. Everything is functioning on its own. We take a bite, and each time we do, there is a sensation, a feeling. And as we continue eating, the feeling of fullness gradually arises. The sensation of fullness does not have words. It is simply a feeling. And once we recognize that feeling of being full, we naturally stop eating. Can you see it? While sitting and eating, this is layer 3, the body. Now what about the mind? While the body is eating, the mind is lost in thought. It thinks, this evening, I should go meet my friend, have coffee, and chat. It imagines the scene, the conversation, the coffee cup. Meanwhile, the body continues to eat, unaware of what the mind is fabricating. The mind is completely disconnected from the body, lost in its own world of thoughts. It doesn't even know that it is currently eating. And it doesn't stop there. The mind continues to fabricate more stories. Should I go alone? Or take my partner? Or maybe bring the whole family? And then it decides, I'll go alone so I can sit and chat more freely. While this stream of thoughts flows on, the body continues to chew and swallow without any awareness from the mind. The mind does not need to eat. It doesn't even know that the body is eating. Can you see this? The mind is absorbed in planning to meet a friend. imagining the conversation over coffee. And then it jumps to another thought. Tomorrow is a holiday. Maybe I should take the family to the beach. The mind imagines the entire scene, the drive to the beach, the time to leave, the time to arrive, playing in the water with the kids. The voice continues speaking internally, and mental images arise vividly. It thinks and imagines, creating one scenario after another. Now, if we can clearly see that these thoughts and images are arising on their own, functioning independently, a realization will strike. If these thoughts are functioning on their own, then where is me in all of this? The mind will begin to question, and eventually it will declare, there is no self here. There is nothing that can be called me or mine. In that moment, the false sense of self shatters, and we are pulled out of the illusion of being a person. What remains is only vast emptiness, pure, clear, spacious awareness. The recognition arises that everything we once believed to be me has dissolved. The entire structure of identity, being a person, having a family, having possessions, collapses, revealing the profound truth that we are nothing but the pure, clear, and formless life element. This is the only realization we need to attain. This is the awakening that will set us free. I want to point out that Layer 2, the realm of mental activities and expressions, has no idea that it is currently eating. It keeps thinking and imagining without any awareness of the present moment. For example, while eating, the mind suddenly thinks, what if I go to the beach tomorrow and run into my ex? How will I handle it? Immediately, an unpleasant emotion arises. The mind starts picturing the ex, creating a mental image. But wait, we're still eating. Are we aware of that? Layer 2, the mental expressions, has its own functions. It thinks, imagines, fabricates emotions, perceives, and records sounds. While we are eating, it is constantly producing thoughts, one after another. The mind keeps running its narrative, thinking and thinking, creating one story after another. Can you see this? Can you see that all these thoughts are not truly us? They are just doing their own work, continuously churning out fabrications. Once we understand this, we will realize that we were not born to get lost in the world. We were born to awaken to the truth of our own mind, to see through all these layers and be liberated from suffering permanently. The pure life essence is an expanse of empty clarity that merges with the entire universe. How can it be reborn? There is no place for it to return to because there is no self left. There is only vast, boundless emptiness, pure, clear, and infinitely spacious. That is all that remains. Now the body continues functioning on its own. The mind continues its endless stream of thoughts, imagining scenes and stories. Emotions arise and fall, generating sensations of liking and disliking. The mind hears sounds, perceives them, and reacts to them. Everything is operating independently. The body is doing its work. The thoughts are running their course. The mind is conjuring mental images, while emotions rise and fall, based on whether those thoughts align with expectations or not. When the mind thinks of something, and it turns out as imagined, it produces a pleasant emotion, happiness. But when things do not go as imagined, it produces an unpleasant emotion, suffering. I am pointing all of this out so that you can see clearly that none of these things truly belong to the body. The body is layer 3, functioning in its own way. Meanwhile, thoughts, images, emotions, and sensory perceptions are layer 2, operating independently. Both of these layers, the physical body and the mental activities, are not the true self. Neither one is me or mine. We are layer 1, the pure empty life essence, the vast, formless, and profoundly clear consciousness that simply is. When this is clearly seen and understood, we will no longer be deceived by thoughts or sensations. The illusion of self will dissolve, and with it the endless cycle of suffering and rebirth. Let me explain this in more detail. It's actually quite humorous when you look at it closely. While the body is eating, do you realize that the mind or life element is not eating? The mind or life element doesn't need food. It is formless, without any physical body. We, in our true essence, are that formless life element. So what need do we have for food? Yet the body, being a physical element, requires physical sustenance to function. The body eats, but the mind remains completely unaware. It doesn't even know that it is human. Since it doesn't know, we must listen to these teachings over and over until it becomes undeniably clear that nothing we experience is truly us. When this realization dawns, the mind or life element will completely detach from all identifications, and we will clearly see that we are one with the entire universe. In that moment, we will know without a doubt that we will never be reborn again. Now, while the body is eating, the mind is busy elsewhere. The mind is not connected to the act of eating at all. The life element, the pure consciousness, has no idea what eating is. It has never eaten, never tasted food. Meanwhile, while the body is chewing and swallowing, the mind is thinking, "This evening, I should go meet my friend, have some coffee, and chat." As that thought arises, images appear in the mind. Sitting with a friend, sipping coffee, chatting. With these images, pleasant emotions also arise: excitement, anticipation. But these emotions are just fleeting reactions. They have nothing to do with the formless life essence. The true self, the first layer, is completely separate from all these mental images, emotions, and sensory perceptions. There is one natural state that is entirely unaffected by mental images, emotions of happiness or sorrow, or any sensory perceptions. And that state is the mind itself, the pure life element. This is layer one, the formless, empty, and clear essence that we truly are. It has no shape, no form, and no desire for anything. All these mental images, voices, and emotions, they are part of layer two, the manifestations, the expressions. But we are not these expressions. We are the pure, formless essence, the life element that silently witnesses all of these things without being involved in them. That is what we must awaken to, the realization that we are not the body, not the mind, not the thoughts or emotions. We are the vast empty clarity that pervades everything, untouched and unchanged. For those who truly grasp this, a profound sense of lightness and spaciousness will arise. While the body continues to eat, the mind begins to think again. "Tomorrow is Saturday, let's take the family to the beach," it thinks. Immediately, a mental image arises, a pleasant scene of the family playing in the water. This thought brings forth a feeling of happiness, satisfaction. But then a new thought arises, a sudden, unsettling realization. Wait, what if I run into my ex? My ex is in that area. If I go, I'm bound to see them. The mind instantly conjures a mental image of the ex, and with it, a surge of negative emotions: fear, anger, aversion. "Oh no, I can't go there. I don't want to see that face. I hate them," the mind declares. All of this, the thoughts, the mental images, the emotions, belong to layer two, the realm of expressions and fabrications. Meanwhile, the body continues eating, completely unaware of these inner fabrications. And layer one, the pure life element, remains entirely unaffected by all of this. We, the true self, are the formless, clear, and pure life essence, untouched, unchanging, and eternally silent. We have never been human. We are not the body. We are not the thoughts, not the emotions, not the mental images. We are the boundless, empty clarity that witnesses all these manifestations without being entangled in them. It is as if these three layers exist in completely different dimensions. The physical body, layer 3, functions in the realm of three-dimensional space. The mind, thoughts, emotions, perceptions, layer 2 operates in another realm, the dimension of mental fabrications. But layer 1, our true essence, is the dimension of zero, timeless, formless, without boundaries. It is the original source, the primordial essence from which all manifestations and physical forms arise. This is the true self, the zero element, the pure and unconditioned life essence. Understanding this clearly is the key to liberation. We are the original essence, like the clear empty space in which air exists. Air, carbon dioxide, oxygen, they all dwell within this vast, empty clarity. Cool air, warm air, they too move through this empty space. Even when the air shifts and forms a tornado that destroys everything in its path, it still exists within this vast empty clarity. And that clarity, that space, is entirely unaffected. It remains pure and undisturbed. It's almost comical when we look at it this way. The body is just doing its own work. The legs move, the hands scratch the head. The body continues its routine. Meanwhile, the mind is busy thinking, let's go meet a friend, sit down, have some coffee. The thought arises, and with it, a mental image appears. Then emotions follow. Pleasure if the thought is desirable, displeasure if it is not. If the plan seems agreeable, there is a sense of happiness. If not, there is a sense of discomfort. Then the mind begins to react, thinking, imagining, and feeling. But can we see clearly that all of this has nothing to do with the body? And more importantly, none of it has anything to do with the true self. Layer 2 is the realm of expressions, the voice, mental images, emotions, and perceptions. We rely on these expressions, but they are not us. The voice is just doing its job, but we mistakenly believe that we are the one speaking. Who can clearly see this? If we can truly see that the voice speaking is not us, that it is just a natural function operating on its own, tears will flow. Layer 1, the true self, is the formless life essence. We have become lost, mistakenly clinging to layer 2, which consists of the voice, the mental images, the emotions, and the perceptions. We rely on these things, clinging to them as if they were us. But now, having listened to these teachings, we are beginning to observe. We hear the voice in the mind saying, tomorrow is a holiday. Let's take the kids out. And in that moment, we catch ourselves. Wait, that voice speaking, it's not me. It's like the tentacles of an octopus that have been clinging to something, but then suddenly release. As the mind lets go of its grip, a profound sense of lightness and spaciousness arises. We realize that we are the formless, pure life essence, vast, empty, and clear, blending seamlessly with the entire universe. This essence is weightless, unburdened by thoughts or emotions. Keep listening to the teachings. The more we listen, the lighter and clearer we become. The more we listen, the more the mind releases its grip on thoughts and emotions. And finally, the moment will come when we fully detach from the illusion of self, even from the sense of being the one who hears and perceives. In that moment, we will awaken to a different reality. We will see that the one hearing is not us. The act of hearing is simply another natural function, just as the body is simply doing its work, just as the voice, mental images, emotions, and perceptions are all doing their work. Each operates independently, without knowing one another, without belonging to anyone. If we can clearly see that all these functions, the body, The voice, the thoughts, the emotions are just doing their own work without any self behind them. The realization will strike like a flash. There is no self here. There is nothing that is me or mine. In that instant, the mind will release its grip, and we will clearly see that we are not connected to layer 2 or layer 3 at all. We are not the body. We are not the thoughts, emotions, or sensory experiences. We are the pure, empty, formless essence, the original life element, vast, clear, and infinitely light. Achieve this understanding. Awaken to the truth of your own essence. Let go of the illusion and liberate yourself from suffering once and for all. Every time we take on a new vessel, we inhabit layer 3, the body, and we also rely on layer 2, the manifestations, the expressions. Every time we are born, we cling to these layers. We inhabit the body, we rely on sensations and expressions, and then we start to perceive. Can you see it? Once we latch onto these manifestations, we begin to perceive the world. We open our eyes and see, our ears hear sounds, we smell, taste, and touch. The senses begin to register experiences, and then preferences arise. We start to like or dislike certain sensations. From there, we begin to form memories, remembering images, recalling sounds, and then developing speech. We learn to identify with everything around us, attaching meaning to every experience. We become so accustomed to these manifestations that we start to believe the voice speaking within is truly us. We believe the body is us. We believe the emotions are us. We live our lives relying on the body, layer 3, and the mind's manifestations, layer 2, completely unaware that we are actually layer 1, the original life element, the pure, formless, and empty essence. If we could all awaken to this truth, that nothing in this world is truly ours, that nothing is the self, the world would be a place of profound peace and harmony. This is the goal, to awaken to the reality of the mind, to see clearly that we are the formless, pure life essence. Once we truly realize this, the desire to boast, to compete, to conquer, will vanish completely. Why would we need to assert ourselves if there is no self to begin with? Why would we harm one another if we know that everything is simply an expression of nature, without owner, without self? When we realize this, the need to possess, to claim territory, to fight for resources will dissolve. The understanding will arise that the earth belongs to no one. It is simply the earth. We will no longer exploit, dominate, or destroy one another, for we will see that we are all part of the same empty, boundless essence. There will be only sharing, mutual support, and peaceful coexistence. This is the nature of awakening to the mind. This is the essence of realizing the pure life element. Everyone, come and learn this teaching. Awaken to the pure, empty essence within you. Let this be the final existence. Let us end suffering once and for all by realizing that there is nothing here that is me or mine. The voice that is speaking now is not truly a self. It is merely a function, a manifestation. I am using this voice to communicate with you, to point out that it is nothing more than an expression of the mind. Mental images, emotions, sensory perceptions, they are all layer 2. We are layer 1, the pure, empty life essence. Therefore, share these teachings with everyone. Spread these recordings so that all may hear and awaken. Now, it is time to end this session. May everyone awaken to the pure, empty, formless life essence swiftly and completely. May we all realize the truth and be liberated from suffering. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.